Oh, yeah. So, can you discuss with me the difference between the leadership styles of elected officials, including its efficiency or disefficiency between the Philippines and the Chinese government?
The four leadership style of Chinese leaders are advanced leadership style, authoritative leadership style, progressive leadership style, and invisible leadership. Advanced leadership style is ready to work in a field full of risk and embodies the spirit of creativity which influences the government fabric. This leader understands the importance of his or her human capital and does his or her best to respect and understand its followers. Authoritative leadership style is viewed as a difficult management style to work with. Employees or followers are obedient and abide by high moral standards in which the leader enforces. While progressive leadership style establishes a strict performance system to improve efficiency and product quality, this leader unites groups to work as a whole, to create value, and to please the local communities. This leader is dynamic and is people-oriented. Invisible leadership style is self-explanatory. This leader prefers to pass decisions to subordinates and avoid the spotlight. The Chinese President Xi Jinping has demonstrated a distinctive leadership style and established his personal dominance by setting up a number of small leading groups, reducing the decision-making authority of his colleagues. He has also made himself a populist leader by using the whole party state propaganda machine to promote his personality. The power concentration and distinct personal leadership may help Xi push long-delayed reforms while making decision-making more vulnerable to mistakes and power abuse. On the other hand, the Filipino leadership style is said to be, one article has said that only secure leaders give power to others, which implies that Filipino leaders are secure leaders as they are not reluctant to give power away, nor are they afraid of losing their standing when other potential leaders rise up through the ranks. Also, Filipino leadership is described particularly as democratic leadership. This is a leadership style wherein subordinates are involved in making decisions. Unlike the autocratic style, this leadership is centered on subordinates' contribution, and the democratic leader holds final responsibility, but he or she is known to delegate authority to other people. The most unique feature of this leadership is that communication is active upward and downward. With respect to statistics, democratic leadership is one of the most preferred style of leadership, and it entails the following: fairness, competence, creativity, courage, intelligence, and honesty. The Filipino president, or the current president, who is President Duterte, is observed to be action-oriented and is bent on keeping his promises. The man people love to refer to as President Duterte, or Duterte, wants his presidency free from corruption and has promised to fire people who are involved in corruption, a promise that he has fulfilled. While the administration's campaign against illegal drugs has been controversial, from a leadership point of view, his determination shows clarity and commitment to his purpose and vision. He has promised change is coming. This line has energized the government bureaucracy and is slowly changing the culture throughout different agencies. Likewise, it has also energized the Filipino people, who have all been thirsty for change and meaningful reforms.
So, can you compare to me the respective bureaucracy between the Philippines and the Chinese government?
So people think that the Philippine bureaucracy is actually vulnerable to nepotism because people tend to prioritize family, friends, or friends of friends because they think that they are obligated to do so when, especially when they are positioned in a high place in the government. And also people think that being in the government is actually a matter of who you know and not what you know, because it takes a lot of people. It takes to know a lot of people to be able to be elected into a position like the president or even just the governor or mayor or things like that, you know. And people in the government think that it is actually power and privilege and not community service or like public service, because the more power they get, the more privileges they get. They think that when you get elected into positions, they are shielded with immunities, and that they don't think that the things that they do are actually responsibilities and that they're accountable for things. And moreover, people think that economic power makes political power. So the more money you get, the more money you have, the more chances that you get into politics and everything. So for the Chinese bureaucracy, it has been described as a multiplicity of competing ministries and bureaucratic levels. So, with constant distractions of interdepartmental buck passing and turf wars. So, inside the department of a government unit, they think that they have to fight each other to get a promotion or to get more responsibility, so they won't be able to do their job well. And also, local government officials are often promoted even though they are not qualified to be promoted. They often get promoted by using bribery, framing, stealing, or other illegal means to get the promotion. And for the Chinese government, the Chinese bureaucracy rather, they think that the goal is and will always be survival. And for these two bureaucracies to compare them, they're both not efficient. Both of their systems are not efficient in terms of that they think that a government position is for privilege and power, but it's actually not. It's for the whole country. It's for the whole Philippines. It's for the whole China. It's not just for them, but they use it to get money, to get more money, to be more privileged, to get immunity and things like this. And it sacrifices the whole government, the people of the government, and it's very not efficient. Right? Yeah, it's not efficient for anybody. So yeah.
So what about the government structure of the Philippines? So can you discuss it with me?
The Philippines is a republic with a presidential form of government power is equally divided among its three branches: legislative, executive, and judiciary. Legislative power is an institution divided into Senate and those of representatives. They are authorized to make laws, alter, and repeal them through the power vested in the Philippine Congress. Executive power is imposed of the President and Vice President, who are elected by direct popular vote and serve the term of 6 years. The Constitution vests executive power to the President of the Philippines, who functions as head of the state, head of government, Commander-in-Chief of AFP. President also exercises control over all the executive departments, bureaus, and offices. Judiciary power. This branch is made up of Supreme Court and lower court. They hold the power to settle controversies involving rights that are legally remarkable and enforceable.
What about the government structure of the Chinese government?
The People's Republic of China is communist government which has 4 divisions: legislative, executive, judiciary, and military. Legislative branch, it consists of the highest department of the Communist Party, the National People's Congress. Executive branch, it is made up of state councils, the premier, and the president. The president serves as a ceremonial head of the state that serves 5 years and has a little power within the government. The premier acts the prime minister and is the head of 50-member council. The State Council must answer to the National People's Congress and ensure that its legislative decisions are carried out. Judicial branch composed of Supreme People's Court and Supreme People's Procuratorate. And for the military branch, the Central Military Commission is consists of 11 members. They create military policies and ensures that it is carried out by lower offices.
So I'm here to discuss with you the form of government of the Philippines. So basically, our government comprised of three branches, which are the executive branch, wherein they are the ones who implement the laws being passed by the Congress. So second, the legislative branch, in which they are the ones who make and pass laws or proposed laws to be implemented by the executive branch. And the third one is the judicial branch. So they are in charge of stating if the laws being passed are unconstitutional or is according to the constitution. So with regards to the programs and policies of the government, so they have implemented such programs such as the Build projects, the rice tariffication law, free medicines on health centers, and of course, very controversial trade law. So the form of government for the Chinese is that basically there are two governments. So first is the internal government, which is led by the Central Committee of the Chinese Communist Party, where the real policy decisions are made. Second is the external government, which the people and Westerners see as being led by the State Council and the different central government ministries. So all major decisions is relating to the Chinese domestic and foreign affairs are made at the Chinese Communist Party. So after these decisions are made, so they are handed over to the ministries for implementation.